Una de las bandas más pedidas para esta edición de Resurrection Fest es Rise Against, and I'm here with Zach. Zach, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's talk about music first of all, because I know that it's been a year of the release of the latest album, and I know that the Spanish public loved the one. Love it so much.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me with all this noise.
Yeah.
It's very loud. Newer generation. So I would like to know if it's exactly what you expect, or the reaction of the public.
Well, you know, we try not to have too many expectations. We just put out music we like, and if people like it, then that's great. And they've seemed to have liked it. You know, we've been doing a month of these festivals, some of our own shows, and it's been great, and the response has been amazing. So you could only hope for that, you know, to put out the stuff that's real personal to you, that you kind of created together, and to have other people accept it and sort of it speak to them in whatever way it does. It's overwhelming. So yeah, the fact that people actually like it, or the Spanish public like it, then we're just thrilled. Yeah, yeah.
That's good. I know that it has you got like 16 songs for it, but you cut off 5 out of the set list. What was the criteria to choose those 5 that you guys are out?
The attention span seems to be so much shorter now, with things are happening so quick, like with social media, with Instagram, TikTok, or whatever. Like, content just happens and then goes away and then it's forgotten about. And so we didn't want to give out everything at once. We wanted to have something, at the time also there was the pandemic to reckon with. So we put out a record, and we were, in our heads, we were like, well, we're going to be touring, so it would be great to have something else come out in the middle of all this, because it was
singles kind of.
Yeah. It was like, it took so long for the record to come out, and we weren't able to tour right away when it came out, and then finally got out a few months after it had come out.
Right.
So it was just our way of sort of, trying to have something else to get behind, and a new news source to sort of happen while we were out touring. Yeah.
Okay. So what does it mean, this album, for you on a personal level?
I mean,
because it's a strong album. I listen to it, and it has a very strong message behind. So
thank you. I think it's one of those things that we're kind of good at, where there's a sort of a vague interpretation of what it could mean to anybody, and it's open for interpretation.
Yeah.
At this time, and you and I were talking a bit before, the world's kind of a fucked up place. It's okay to cuss, right? Okay.
This is Resurrection Fest, babe. Okay. You can say whatever you want.
It's kind of a fucked up place, and so I do feel like our generation's youth, are sort of the nowhere generation, and the fact that they're getting handed just a pile of shit, In the States now, the Supreme Court has reversed Roe v. Wade, which is women's right to their own body and their own choice. In many states, at least it's not nationwide, but a lot of states in the South have already, enacted it. The gun laws are fucked. Everything's fucked, and so I think environmentally, Jesus Christ, the climate change. So we're giving kids a lot to deal with, and I believe that this generation is the nowhere generation. So that's one way to interpret it. But I believe anyone that's alive right now is a nowhere generation. I mean, really, you could take it like that as well. But I also think that it's up to anybody, whatever they interpret. If they listen to the songs or listen to the lyrics, it's however they interpret it. Yeah.
So you've been more than 20 years now. How does it feel? Over 2 decades. Are you planning to do something for the 25th anniversary? Are you been thinking about celebrate it somehow with your fans?
We'd love to. It's our band's the kind of thing where it's just like eye on the prize. If we have a tour, we just get to the end of the tour, then we just, then we talk about things while we're home. So yes, I would imagine at 25 years we would try to definitely do something. I don't know what that's going to be, but we're going to try to do something. Yeah.
Okay, good. We're going to be expecting that, to know that. So talking about that, fans, you've been always a band that is very focused on the fans and the love that you give to them. What's the most memorable time with a fan? I don't know, story, something that happened that you that things that fill up your heart, you know what I mean?
Like you said, there's our fans are so amazing, and they really do adopt the band so much with tattoos, or they draw pictures of us or whatever. I don't think there's one specific time. It's been happening on this tour. You know, for some kid to show us his tattoo, or to have taken the time to draw a picture of us, or whatever the fact that they took time out of their busy day or whatever it was they were doing to memorialize us like that, or it's never a flippant thing for us. It's never like, oh, that, you know, whatever. It always impacts us, and we always talk about it on the bus afterwards or whatever it might be. It's just amazing, you know, because we still do things, just the four of us in a room, we write songs and whatever. Right. Then we put it out there, and for it to impact anybody in any way, it's never lost on us, you know. Yeah.
I know that you don't want to talk about the lyrics because it's not your part, it's not your department, but obviously you're part of it somehow.
Sure.
So is this like a way to do catharsis for what you're feeling about how fucked up the world is, or America is, or is just a way to pass a message to open people's eyes?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
or maybe both. I don't know.
Maybe, I think a little both, but I think also with us, all the punk rock bands we grew up listening to always had a message. They always had something they were talking about.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a microphone in your face, or if you have people listening to what you're saying, you could talk about anything. You could talk about partying, or you could talk about whatever. And because of our influences and our backgrounds and everything, and Tim, who writes our lyrics, there was always some sort of message in all of those songs. So he has just always chosen to talk about things that mean a lot to him and that are important to him. You know, and thankfully people are still listening and anxious to hear that. So we're pretty lucky. Yeah.
Would you like to say anything to your Spanish fans right now, to the camera? Like, it's right there, and I know that you have huge fan base in here.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Well, thanks for listening, and hopefully you'll keep listening, and we'll keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Very sweet. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks
this
so
was
much.
Zach from Rise Against, and this is Yadia for Resurrection Fest TV 2022.